Hey guys, Dean here. Gonna do another video today on how hard is it to get a truck driving license nowadays. Is it easy? Is it hard? In my personal opinion, it's a lot easier to get a license now. I don't know if I say that correctly because it's not that it was easy in the past to get a license, but I feel like the skill level and the training was different. Now, some of you guys that are old school like myself that go back a long ways, you know, some of it was here's a set of keys, jump in the truck and drive and get it down the road. But there was a lot less traffic on the road. There was a lot less things going on, less trucks, more respect. You know, it was a different world back then. Now, there's so many trucks on the road. It doesn't matter at any time of day, night, which direction you're going, there's a truck on the road. You're passing trucks all day long, all night long. It's just that there's that much traffic. To get a job now, it doesn't matter. You open up a newspaper, there's 1,000 jobs out there. It might not be the one you want, but man, there's jobs. Everybody's hiring. Like, everybody is hiring. Even the big game, like even some of the places that's hard to get into, a lot of those guys are hiring as well. And it's not because they have lack of drivers. Some of it is that they're doing really well. Somebody like ET, you know, ET is doing very well. Ronan stays very busy with his company, and he's constantly bringing on new units, and so he needs new drivers. So it's not that he's on a shortage of drivers. It's just that they're expanding, and a lot of the big games are exactly that same thing, right? They're expanding and they need more drivers. That being said, how do I get that job? You know, like, I mean, I go to the driving school. I come out of the driving school. I got no experience at all. 8 minutes in a truck, and all these places that I'm applying to want 1 year, 2 years minimum experience. So how do I get that experience? Unfortunately, like I tell a lot of people, it's long haul for a lot of people. Schneider and a lot of the big guys like that, they hire on a lot of new drivers, but you're gone for 2, 3, 4 weeks at a time, and you got no family life, and it is what it is, right? But you can get experience. You know, that being said, with a lot of these big mega companies, you know, it is a conveyor belt system. You're as soon as you're done your training and you got everything done, you're down the road. You're a number. That's it. That's all there is to it. You're no longer answering to that company. It's you and the dispatcher, and that's all there is. Screw up, you're gone. You know, do as we say or you're gone. A lot of these drivers that are coming out of the schools and coming in have absolutely no experience at all. I feel bad enough them pulling a 10,000 pound load down the road. Never mind, 80,000, 90,000 and above. You know, and when you look at the statistics and you look at a lot of the accidents, how long some of these guys have been driving, it's really sad. You know, like, I mean, there's just people put into a position. They've been given a career. They got no knowledge. There's nobody backing them up saying, you know, like, maybe we'll send somebody out for the first 2 weeks with you or 3 weeks with you. Now, some of the companies do. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of companies that will do that and make sure that the people they're hiring on are being safe on the road. A lot of companies have a pace car that will periodically come out and follow a truck around for the day and see how that driver acts in his truck. Is he cutting cars off? Is he making it to his deliveries on time? Things like that. It's something that when I used to do the management end of it, I would always follow around one of my drivers for a day or two and just make sure that they're being professional with my customers. And, you know, if they're doing unsafe acts, then I can address it right at that minute. And it's not a spying thing. I never wanted my drivers to ever feel like I'm spying on them. I would let them know that, you know, there's a possibility and stuff like that I may follow you around. It could happen. I wouldn't hang so far out of sight that you couldn't see me. I would always be within sight. So, you know, if you did happen to look over and you seen my car there, then you knew I was there, right? And I didn't try to hide it, but it went a long way. You know, sometimes I would catch guys doing horrible things, you know, like not wearing their safety vests or, you know, climbing up ladders and not having a safety lanyard on, things like that. Like small things I used to like to do is for my guys to see if they were doing the circle check. I would put something on their dipstick that says, when you get this, come and see me. And I'd have the date written on it and in my handwriting and stuff like that. You know, I wouldn't put it in stupid areas that, you know, like, I mean, you got to be a mechanic to find, but in the basic areas. So, you know, if you're checking your tires, you're checking your lights, you're checking your fluids and stuff like that, you're going to find these things. And it would be interesting to see how long before they came in, right? And then you ask them, you know, when was the last time you checked your oil? Oh, I check it every day. Well, isn't that funny? You know, like, maybe go check it now. And then they come in with the little thing and, you know, it's been 3 weeks. You know, like, that being said, it's what I'm trying to get at is when you go to these trucking schools, they teach you the basics and the fundamentals. They're going to teach you what you need to pass that test. That's about the end of it. Quite a while back, we did a video on trucking schools and stuff like that, and some of the feedback was great. Some of you guys were coming back saying that, man, some of the trucking schools you were going to really went through everything with you, and that was great to read some of that stuff. And the other ones, you know, there was a lot of comments on, well, you know, like, I mean, yeah, I went to school, got my license, and down the road I go. And I think that's kind of what I'm getting at, is to get a trucking license is very easy. It doesn't take a lot. If you got a little bit of time, you got a little bit of money, and the prerequisites to get into the school, which is very, very minimal, you can have a license in no time. To be a truck driver is a different thing. You know, when you go to school, it's 30 degrees above, sun shining, the roads are perfect. You know, you're not necessarily driving in the crap that we end up in. You know, there's ice storms, there's wicked, just like sideways rain, you know, when you're driving in that. Foggy weather, slippery weather, even like excessive heat weather. Like there's a lot of variables that make truck driving a hard job. When you're driving in that stuff and all you've ever driven on is dry pavement, and now they're expecting you to go somewhere down into the, you know, the Carolinas or something. You're going to the eastern seaboard somewhere, and you got to drive through 2 feet of snow, ice roads. You know, it's slippery as hell, and whiteouts, and, you know, like, I mean, what do you do, right? A lot of truck drivers that I see when I'm out on the road is, you know, almost causing a more dangerous thing than it's worth. If you can't drive in it, pull over, park, and forget it. Don't put yourself in that situation. That's how there's so many in the ditch, and there's so many down in the center medians and stuff like that. If you can't drive in it, find a spot to pull off safely. Pull off the highway. Make sure you get well off the highway. Don't park on the side of the highway. But you see it all the time, guys driving at 20 kilometers an hour, four ways on. You know, if the roads get to that point, a lot of the time the OPP out here in Ontario, or the RCMP, stuff like that in Canada, the state troopers and stuff out down in the States will actually shut the highways down when they get to that point. Unfortunately, they don't usually get to that point until there's been an accident, which is the sad part. It usually has to be either a truck stuck on a hill, or, you know, a rollover, or a truck down in the ditch, something like that impedes the traffic, and then all of a sudden they shut the highways down. But, you know, they don't teach you that stuff in the driving schools. They don't prepare you for that when you're going to go out on the road. So if you get your license in the summer, start driving in the summer. Don't get your license in the summer, wait 6 months, and then, you know, I got this job and they're going to send me, it's a great job, I'm going to Northern Ontario for the next 6 months. You know, well, good luck with that, right? I hope you enjoy that, because it's hell, you know, like, I mean, the roads are, they're scary as hell. And even for a lot of us seasoned guys that have been driving, you know, our whole lives, there's white knuckle times. You know, you get onto that road and she gets a little bit dicey, and, you know, it's a judgment call at that point. And if I had just rolled out of school, I'm probably going to make the wrong judgment call. Someone like myself who has some experience, then I'm going to get the hell off the road. You know, I'm just going to shut her down for the night. It's not worth it. All in all, I guess what we're looking at is, yeah, right? Hey now, is this guy doing a circle jack? All in all, is it easy to get a truck driving license is what I'm really boiling down to. What do you guys think? Do you think it is way too easy to get a license, and that people are ending up in a truck far too fast, and that's why, you know, we have as many accidents on the road as we have right now? The expectation out of getting a license is, I get my license today, I want to be working tomorrow. There's plenty of companies that are going to bring you on and do exactly that, and they'll fire you down the road just because they want to move. You know, that load's got to go. They don't really care who takes it down the road, which is kind of funny, because you'd think that you want that load actually delivered. It's far too easy, in my opinion, to get a trucker's license. Do you think there should be more training that's involved with it? Do you think there should be X amount of verifiable hours through another trucking company or something like that? Do you think some of these trucking companies should maybe have their own training program, that when you get into the trucking company, yeah, you're good, we're going to hire you on, but you have to go through this 6-week training program that we got. You know, we want to know that you can operate our machinery down the road and do it safely. At the end of the day, the goal of this entire industry is to get the product moved and to come home at the end of the day, right? Like, I mean, we all got loved ones, and we all want to come home at the end of the day. And if I just get my license today and you send me down the road tomorrow and you put me into a situation that I'm not prepared for, well, then there's good odds that I'm not coming home. You know, I'm going to come home all broken. So what are your guys' thoughts on that? I'd like to see in the comments, what do you think the industry or the government, you know, as a whole, we could do to increase the safety level of what's happening on our roads? I'm not the guy to say, and I think some people have gone back on me with the 105 thing and stuff like that. I'm not a firm believer in the 105. Out here in Canada, we have a 105 speed limiter, so we're only allowed to do 105 kilometers, and it just causes gridlock on the roads. I'll fight it all day long with anybody on that one. I live it on a daily basis, and I know it doesn't work, and I think it makes the roads more unsafe. Let me know in the comments below what you guys are thinking about that. Yeah, what can we do? At the end of the day, you know, we're all truck drivers, we're all out there. Opinions from you guys go a long way, and I'm sure that, you know, like, we're not the only people looking at some of these videos. You never know who's watching these videos, right? So you could have people from the ministry that are actually watching some of these videos that take some of these things into consideration. If they hear it from enough truck drivers, they're gonna go, maybe these guys got something to say, and we can make these roads a little bit safer out there. Perfect example of what I don't think they teach in the driving schools. 10-15 years ago, the left lane, you would never see a truck in there. You know, that was called we used to call it the money lane. Now it's just called the hammer lane. Like, now it's just a regular lane, and you will see 10, 15, 20 trucks go by you in the left lane. No, that's just wrong. Like, I mean, that's something that clearly is not being expressed to the new drivers, and maybe it's not how to read a sign. I don't know what it is, but they're clearly marked that you shouldn't have a truck over in those lanes. The other one is, what's with the 2 feet on the dash? Like, honest to God, what are you gonna do if you have to emergency brake and you got both feet up on the dash? Like, where did that come from? I don't know. Is it to prove that you're such a good driver that you don't need feet? I don't understand what it is that brings it on, but yeah, no, it's just that's a no for me. Leave that one in the comments. I really want to hear some comments on that one. They definitely do not teach you that in driving school. And the driving with your curtain half closed, so you can hardly even see your side view mirror, that one I don't understand either. Anyways, that's enough for this video. I love the heck out of you guys. I just had to spit those last ones out. I hope that you guys like us, love us, hit those buttons, make sure you subscribe, tell everybody that you love us here, and they should too. We will catch you guys next time. Keep the shiny side up, the rubber side down. Bye bye.